We are going to read a very silly story about going back to school. Everybody's going to do some sort of back to school this year, so we will see how the animals go back to school. It's written by Doreen Cronin, and the pictures are by Betsy Lewin. And we want to thank the publisher, Athenaeum Books from Simon Schuster, for letting us read this silly story with you today. On Monday, Duck brought a letter to Farmer Brown. Some of it was written in crayon. Dear Farmer Brown, please be our guest at our Farm Day lunch tomorrow. Bring the animals too. Love, Dinkelmeyer Elementary School. P.S. What is your favorite color? P.P.S. How old are you? P.P.S. We have a turtle. Farmer Brown was so excited. He had not been to school in a very, very, very long time. He must get the animals ready. We are going to school tomorrow, he told the cows. We must get ready. They stomped and clomped and moo, moo, mooed. School is very quiet, says Farmer Brown. There is no clomping, no stomping, and no moo, moo, mooing. The cows were not so excited anymore. We are going to school tomorrow, Farmer Brown told the chickens. The chickens had never been to school. They were so excited. They clapped and snapped and cluck, cluck, clucked. School is very serious, said Farmer Brown. There is no clapping and no snapping and no cluck, cluck, clucking. The chickens were not so excited anymore. Farmer Brown arrived at the pig pen. We are going to school tomorrow, he announced. The pigs had never been to school. They were so excited. They hooted and hollered and oink, oink, oinked. School is very calm, said Farmer Brown. There is no hooting, no hollering, and no oink, oink, oinking. The pigs were not so excited anymore. Farmer Brown arrived at the barn. Duck was meditating. Duck breathed in slowly and deeply. And try not to be so ducky, said Farmer Brown. Duck breathed out slowly and deeply. Farmer Brown handed out the rule books, and animals studied all night. No stomping, no clomping, no moo, moo, mooing, no clapping, no snapping, no cluck, cluck, clucking. No hooting, no hollering, no oink, oink, oinking. Don't be ducky. The next morning they lined up quietly in front of the truck with no stomping, no clomping, no clapping, snapping, hooting, or hollering. Farmer Brown was so proud. They were quiet and still on the ride to school. The cows were not mooing, the chickens were not clucky, the pigs were not oinky. Duck breathed in slowly and deeply. Duck breathed out slowly and deeply. Farmer Brown was so proud. When they arrived, they got off the truck quietly and waited in the empty schoolyard. The school seemed quiet, serious, and calm. And the bell rang for recess. The doors flew open and the yard was suddenly filled with wiggling and giggling, chirping and chattering, squeaking and squealing, and zooming and zigging. The cows got mooey and stomp, stomp, stomped. And the chickens got clucky and clap, snap, clapped. And the pigs got oinky and holler, hoot, hollered. And the mice read graphic novels in the shade. Inside the school, Duck was just Ducky. Principal. Be kind, be safe, be helpful. Be honest, respect one another, don't eat the paste. That was a very silly story of all those animals going to school. I thought of an idea that you could do while you're waiting to start school at your house. I would like you to draw a picture. What would you do if you took one of those animals to school with you? What would your teacher say? That'd be so much fun. I'd like to thank you for joining me today for another silly story. I hope you join us for the rest on our other media platforms to listen to other silly stories, songs, and rhymes. We'll see you next time.